Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, we have some more people trying to smuggle drugs on cruise ships. We have the ports reopening after the storm Nicole hit the Florida coast. We have a cruise ship going into Sydney with over 800 cases of COVID on board. Are you ready? Here we go. First of all, today is November 11th, Remembrance Day, and I'd like to take a quick moment of silence before I start my video, if you don't mind. Okay, and remember, just because you honor soldiers and what they've done in the past and the present and what people are going through in Ukraine, it doesn't mean you're supporting war. It just means you're supporting the men and women who put their lives on the line in the past, in the present, and in the future so we can live the lives we live. Again, you're not supporting war. You're supporting the honor of the people willing to do what sometimes, unfortunately, needs to be done. Okay, in the news today, we do have a cruise ship pulling into Sydney Harbor, and it's the Majestic Princess. And a little while ago, we reported that they had about 100, and then it grew to 200 cases. Now, it has been officially reported that they have over 800 COVID cases on board. That's a lot. The ship has about 4,000 passengers on it, which means 20% on board have COVID. That's a lot. Now, what's different this time than in the past is that we have procedures out there for just such a thing. The ship is going to pull into port. Right now on the ship, everybody is isolated who has tested positive. They've been testing people on the ship every day to find out if there's any new contaminants. Anyone who was tested positive is in their stateroom and isolating. Everybody else on board who is still free to roam around are all wearing masks. They've increased the cleaning on board as well. And they now have procedures on board for when people are getting off the ship. They're just not going to let them go. They're going to test everybody before they get off the ship. And then if they test positive, they have plans in place for an isolation area, hotels, etc. That's a far cry from what happened in the past, right? When they just let everybody off at the beginning of COVID. So yes, sometimes this happens, and don't forget, Australia is just sort of reopening. They are just allowing tourism. They are just allowing cruise ships back in. They've just started lifting a lot of their restrictions. And what happened here in North America when we lifted our restrictions, we had a bump. We had a huge bump because everyone had been staying inside and no one had left the house in a lot of places. Here in Canada, we were locked in. We weren't allowed to have friends over. We weren't allowed to have family over. You couldn't have Christmas. You remember how hard it was. Well, Australia is now opening up. They're going to have their bump, and then that bump will go down just as fast. Fingers crossed. It's a matter of life now. That's what we're dealing with. Also, in the news, well, I don't know why they keep trying this, but 8 individuals, all American citizens, were arrested this week trying to smuggle cocaine in their luggage from Jamaica. They were picked up by authorities and arrested for trying to deal with harmful and illegal drugs. There was approximately $850,000 in cocaine found in their luggage. I guess they figured, you know what? If we spread it out over 8 people, the dogs won't find it. I got news for you, folks. The dogs are gonna find it. You could have it in a tea bag, buried under a mound of manure. Those dogs are gonna find it. So yeah. Again, trying to do something on cruise ships that I don't. I guess not quite the way they had planned. $850,000 found. Good news for everybody leaving and arriving in the ports in Florida. They have reopened yesterday, Port of Miami and port in Fort Lauderdale, Everglades. They all opened up, and the really good news is they all have power, because there was a lot of power shortages and outages in Florida with the storm going through. Good news is they have power, cruise ships are coming and going, and everything seems to be pretty well back to normal in the cruise ports. Hopefully this short delay, because some ships were not able to leave, some ships were not able to disembark. Hopefully that all gets cleared up in the next few days and we're back to a normal cruising schedule out of Florida. Why am I hoping for that so much? Well, I sail tomorrow. I am sailing out there. We fly out this afternoon. My son's already here, enjoying my video games upstairs. And yeah, it's going to be a fun trip with my nephews. Hope you stay tuned. My two nephews were not enthusiastic about some of the things people suggested we do on this cruise ship. Because we're getting old, folks. We're getting old, but we're going to do our best to try almost everything out there. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I hope you'll join us on the Harmony of the Seas and take a look at the ship and see what it's like to be a complete cruise noob out there. One of my nephews never cruised before. One has only cruised on Princess. And that was one time, one ship. They were on the Regal Princess. And that's it. So the Harmony of the Seas, the Oasis class ship, is going to be a bit of an eye-opener for him as well. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time. Have yourself a safe and a great vacation.